This is Blaser's B2 scope, 1.7 10x42. Probably one of the nicest optics I've ever used for hunting. Hey, it's Pete Moore and welcome to PCM Guns. You probably recognise this rifle and scope combo. It's a Blaser K95 Ultimate, which I did a video of the other week, and it's proven to be an excellent rifle. I don't want to give it back. I rolled over a muntjac last week with it, and I had to take it out again because I'm just enjoying it so much, and I've got another muntjac today. Hurrah for me. Blaser have been around since 1993 when they launched their R93, as most people know, first straight pull, and probably of all the straight pulls around now, still the one that's best regarded. And Blaser have moved it on. And what Blaser do, I've been to the factory at Isney, and it's not just about rifles. They've got a whole range of equipment that a hunter, if he gets in tune with a Blaser firearms, will want. Ammunition, clothing, moderators, bipods, you name it, they can do it for you. And it breeds what I would call sort of a family type feeling and a lot of loyalty. It's a very smart marketing move. One thing Blaser never had, like most big manufacturers, was a dedicated scope. I don't mean like Remington buying in a load of cheap Bushnell 3 to 9x40s for their 710, 770 series of budget rifle. Blaser wanted a scope as their own, and they spared no expense. They got experts in from across Europe, and in the end Minox, because they own Minox, they make scopes for them. And the first series called B1, and I think it was in 2007. I got an invite along with some other journos to go down to Isney and test the new scopes. Now the B1 scopes a little bit different, as we shall see, but they're all a little bit different. They start with three models: a 1.7 by 28, like a driven game type close-up scope, a 2.8 to 20 by 50, and a 4 to 20 by 58. And they're all in first focal plane. Reticle's a basic 4A type, you know, three thick short arms coming in at 3, 6 and 9 with a crucifix slim in the middle. And I really like them because you can see a lot from the midline up. They only came in a European rail mount, which I'll show you in a minute. Basically, it's not rings, it's a mount that fits onto the bottom of the scope. The scope has a special moulding on the bottom that takes the mount. In this case, they used their saddle mount for it, which again makes a great deal of sense. And the other odd thing about them was, I don't know why they did it, but they put the illumination on the right of the scope and the windage on the left, which is, for most people with scopes, it's arse about face. I don't think it makes a huge difference, it's just the way they did it. Anyway, we had a great time testing these scopes, believe you me. We went took them out at night, played with them. The next we went to the range, and I sat there with an R8 in 6.45 by 47 Lapua and about 200 rounds of ammo, and in the morning burned through it and learned a lot about the scope. I'm not quite sure how long it was later, maybe a year or two, they announced the launch of the B2 series. So second focal plane rather than first, 30mm body tube, and again the spec was a 1 to 6 by 24, again a dangerous game type close in scope, a 2 to 12 by 50 and a 2.5 to 15 by 56. All the B1 and B2 are in a 6x zoom range, so you get a little bit more top and bottom zoom out the scope, which again is quite useful. And they all have a thing called illumination control, which is a link up between the rifle and the scope. Basically there's a sensor in here and there's like a sender in here, so when you put the decocker forward to fire, it'll turn on without you having to do anything apart from cock the rifle, which again is quite useful. Now, certainly a good range of scopes. Not cheap, but the B2s are slightly more cost effective and all very nice. Optical quality is excellent, you can't comment on that at all. As good as Swarovski, Schmidt & Bender, Carley's, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. So you are buying a quality product. This year they launched the B2 with a 1.7 to 10 by 42 spec. Now to me, as a hunter, that is an almost dream spec, because 1.7, you can shoot it handheld for driven or in the woods when you want fast shots, right down low. And then you can wind it up to 10, and 10 power is quite a serious power. I mean, everybody's looking at massive magnification these days, but 10 power is excellent. I've had this out twice now, and low light operation is brilliant, and also when you wind it up to 10, even then it's pretty damn good. That's the basic scope. I'll just get rid of the boring stuff first, all the technical spec. It'll be at the end, but I think you need to know it. Okay, so it's second focal plane. Field of view is 24 meters at 1.7 magnification and 4 meters at 10 mag at 100 meters, which is pretty respectable. Exit pupil is 9.8 to 4.2 millimeters. Eye relief is 90 mil. Light transmission is 94% daytime, 92% nighttime, which is impressive. Then again, light transmission in scopes in the last 10 years has gone up amazingly. Being a German scope, they're 1 centimeter clicks, and you get 72 per turn. You get 2 full rotations from both turrets, elevation and windage, and translate that to English, at 100 meters you've got 56 inches of adjustment, vertical and horizontal. Length is a compact 315 millimeters, weight is 680 grams for the round-bodied version and 700 grams for the rail. Obviously there's a bit more meat on the rail, as we shall see. And they're waterproof down to 5 meters if you want to take them swimming, but you know what I mean. What they do offer as an extra, QDC, quick distance controller. Basically it's a bolt-on ballistic turret, just put it on elevation, and it comes with a set of range rings, and what you do, you work out your velocities and your drops and you select a range ring. I think they've very much copied that off Zeiss, and they have other range of things. They have flip up covers, there's adapters for thermal scopes and night vision scopes as well, which is not the purpose of this article, but that's what I do. So okay, that's the scope from my point of view on this lovely little light K95 rifle. It's light, it's handy, and in terms of magnification effect, quality and ability, it punches well above its weight. This to me is almost an ideal optic, it really is. At the back end you have quite a generous eye box, and typically it has a fast focus European eyepiece which just winds in and out. It's not a lock ring system, but it's quite firm, so you set it and it's not going to wander off course. So mag is between 10 and 1.7. The mag ring is wide, heavily checked, and you can see here my finger is, there's a raised fin which aids dialing, and the numbers are in white and nice and easy to see. There's a dot that tells you where you are with it. The illumination is on the right. This cap here with the Blaser Argali rams unscrews, and there's a CR, I think it's 2032 coin type sun underneath. All you get here is 2 arrows, plus, minus, and what you do to turn the illumination on, you pull it out like so, and if you want it brighter, roll it forward. If you want it darker, pull it back, and then when you finish with it, turn it off. Inside is a should we say, a angle sensor. So if the rifle is held up, I think above 80 degrees, then the dot, if it's on, is turned off, and again if it's down below 80 degrees, it's turned off. And if the rifle goes on its side by 90 degrees either way, it's turned off. And when as soon as you reacquire the gun in a shooting position, then the dot comes back on automatically. Nothing new, but it's technology that people demand these days, because that's what the big players do. Turrets are identical. This is elevation. I'll just take this off. They're just screw covers. Again, they're nicely marked. The only thing I didn't like about it is that the actual adjuster, this is slotted here, this inner drum, and I find it a little bit awkward to operate. It would be nicer if it had been a little bit wider, just to get more turn on it. And so what happens is, once you've zeroed this, then you can put the QDC on, and Blaser supply a key for this as well, so you can, even if you don't use it, you can zero it, and then you can actually put the dials to zero as well. Windage is the same, no different at all. It's just, I suppose, being British or that sort of thing, it's very odd to get your head around the fact that windage is on the left, but it's no big deal, trust me. It's just the way they do it. The 42mm objective combined with the quality glass means you've still got a lot of good light transmission in this scope. What I like about it is that you can mount them quite low on the rifle. Mounting is the usual Blaser saddle mount system. Basically, though this K95 barrel is very different to the R8 barrel, this scope mount is universal to both rifles, which is quite good. If you don't know the Blaser system, it's very elegant. Flip up your two lock-in levers, like so. Roll them forward, like that. Scope comes off. We can see the rail system underneath here, which allows you to move the scope backwards and forwards on the mount for eye relief. Put it back on. Clamp them shut. And you're there. The mount is adjustable for tension. There's adjuster slots the other side, and Blaser do supply a very slim flat-headed screwdriver to do so. I've had this scope on. I zeroed it up last week for hunting. I've had the scope on and off 2 and 3 times. I took it out today hunting again, and it was still shooting 1 inch high, exactly where I put it. So you can rest assured if you're travelling and you have to take your gun apart, put it in the case, then put your scope on and it's going to stay where it is, and there's no need to re-zero. That's Blaser's B2 scope. Lovely. Not much more to say really, but if you're a Blaser man, yes, things are a little bit more expensive, but you are buying one hell of an optic here if that's what you need. It's Pete Moore signing off. If you like that, tell your friends, speak to me about it, support the channel, and it's pmoore.shootingsports@gmail.com, and I'll see you again soon with some more cool kit.